Ricky was struggling with these shears today. And I thought if he's struggling as much as he sharpens shears, working here at the Bonica office, you might have some problems with them. This has a triple whammy. First of all, they're left-handed. Number two, they're curved shears. And number three, it's like the bluntest edge we've ever seen on a shear. So it created a real problem of putting in a new Thank you.
There was no ride line.
There was no ride line. And so I'm going to walk you through how we took care of these today. On it. Now you asked me a question, Ricky.
Has anybody ever convexed this?
I know we've had sharpening jams and we've had people come in and they had some kind of device and they were into convexing it. To be honest with you, I'm not sure if it's worth the effort.
Yeah.
I know a lot of them will come from the factory convexed, and then when we sharpen them, we end up doing a bevel on them. And it wouldn't be so bad on this blade, but when you get to this blade that's curved in, you're going to have to work it. I mean, it could be done. I'm just not sure I want to work that hard.
Yeah.
So I'll color that one in too. You want to guess what the angle is? I'm gonna.
15.
15, you think so? I'm gonna put it at 20, and then we'll see. But it might be lower than 15. I do know one company that sharpens for groomers that does look at me, I'm still trying to put this in backwards. I know one company that sharpens for groomers and they just do them all at 15 degrees.
Really?
And undoubtedly they have a lot of customers that are happy with them. Groomers don't always get the education that stylists do. Wake up. We got you on camera here. It's just early in the morning for you.
Yeah.
I'm a morning person. I think you're more of an evening person. What am I doing? What am I doing? I need to be on that. Let's see. Okay, so I've got to be on this side of it. Okay, now it looks like we're actually doing something, doesn't it? So I want this all the way down. I can tighten that screw if I want to. I'm going to lay this up here. And we want to scratch it going this way. And I'm not worrying about out here, this part of the blade, just this part. Yeah, and we're not at the edge. Can you see where it's scratched? Let me let you zoom in here. I don't know if this is going to show. I'm looking at the wrong side again. You're so used to doing right-handed shears that it's, so yeah, I'm not at the edge. So, and I was at 20. Ricky said 15. I think you're right at 15. Okay, so for anybody that wants to know, this is a detent. I've been calling it detente, but the correct pronunciation I found is detent. And even the little clicker plates are detents. Detents are things that catch so that you can set your angle correctly and keep it there. So that's where this word came from. The engineer that drew these up, but that would be the correct word for the clicker plates. But I'm not going to stop calling them clicker plates because nobody would know what I was talking about, would they? Mm-hmm. All right, so at 15, keep myself on track. Been around too many hairstylists. I've been here lately, and I'm kind of ADHD-ing. $15. Yay. Took it off a good angle. Good eye, Ricky. So do we want to leave it at 15? No, we don't want to
No.
break it all the way up to 40. I'm saying we probably need to try to sharpen it at least 30 or 35. So when we get ready to do this, we're going to use the clamp to set our angle and get a feel for where it is, and then try to follow there, rather than when I train people to do these curve shears, I usually talk to them about, and we've talked about this, finding out where the shadow is and pulling it to the shadow. That only works if you're wanting to stay with that same angle. If you're going to have to change the angle, you're going to have to use the clamp, get an idea of where you want to be, and then try to follow that. And the crazy thing is now this is all going to be going the opposite direction from what you're used to.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to try to stay with that angle and go with something coarse and get your burr. I wonder if we ought to get the burr first, go work the ride line, and then come back and work this. You think that's a kind of layer it? Look at me, I'm doing it again. So, you want me to do this?
Yeah, you can.
Are there any other lefty curves in that bunch over there?
No. There was a righty though.
Okay. Is it done at the 15, that righty, you think?
No. That's the one. I did that one too.
Okay. And that's an Oster. Those are usually a blunter angle. I think this one's a higher quality than the Oster.
Looks pretty old too.
Yeah, this might be one of the original ones that was made in the Oster factory when they took over Arias Eichert. Because it does look like one of those, and I like that one. I had some barbers that liked that heft on them.
Yeah.
Because Arias Eichert was bought out by Oster, and then for a while, and I got to train in that factory, for a while they made shears there, and they went from calling them Arias Eichert to Oster for a while, and then they got all of them made, I guess, in China or somewhere, and threw out all these parts, all these little finger rests and bumpers, and in the trash can. I still mourn that. I'll wake up in the middle of the night crying about it. Alright, so I'm going to pull it to about here. Then I'm going to pull it off the arm, leave it on the clamp, and pull it on out here. That's the plan.
Okay.
Now, it's really important that you go where it says lefty, which is counterclockwise. Because if I go the other way, I could hurt myself. Let me stand over here so I can get a good angle on it. Wait a minute, I didn't reset the clamp, did I? I'm still at 15. Why didn't you stop me, Ricky?
I thought you did. I saw you messing with it.
Did I? No, I'm still at 15.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so let's bring it up to 30, huh?
Yeah.
So, I didn't go get my coffee at Panera this morning. Maybe that's my problem. I actually woke up this morning thinking about this stupid shear because we left it yesterday, remember? Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, today let's shoot a video on it. Yeah, I'm just going to go up to where it starts to curve. Well, there's no way around it. It's got a... Oh! Got a burr. Okay. So I'm going to go... So I'm going here. And at this point, I'm going to get rid of the arm. Try to keep that same angle. I can kind of look at my shadow now. and I'm pulling it around. And the tricky part is when you do this, you may not get a burr, and your tendency is to go blunter. And that's not going to help our cause. I may have a burr all the way down. Little wimpy right here. Now you may be a lot better at this than I am with a steadier hand, but I think we got a burr all the way down. Feel it. Now this blade is, to me, it's just easier to do on a cushion plate. What we've got here, fresh 600.
Yeah.
That should do it.
Yeah, I feel the burr.
It looks like we changed the angle, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So take that one out of the clamp, and then we're going to work the ride line a little bit. And then come back to this. A lot of work, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So this handle is on the right side. Now, to be honest with you, if somebody had the twice as sharp and they were really good at it, it might be easier with that. I don't know. I haven't had a whole lot of experience with the twice as sharp. But that's why a lot of people that do groomers have that machine too, or they're doing fabric stores. All right, let me take this tag off before it gets caught in the machinery. So, lefty, and you have to double check, ask yourself, you know, am I doing it lefty? And I'm kind of looking to see if I got a burr. Not yet. A little bit faster. And I've got a burr, I think. Yeah, it's kind of wimpy, but it's there. And I can just leave this in the clamp. A lot of people do all their curved shears with it, starting with the clamp to get their angle. Which might not be a bad idea, and sometimes it's easier just to hold it like this in the clamp. No, nothing. I got a burr here and then nothing from there down. Sometimes you can see that burr popping up against the black of the, just as you pull it out. And just like the other curved shears, there might be just a very slight twisting motion, just to kind of keep that angle. No, that's pitiful. Look at that. I haven't got any burr there. You see the red?
Yeah.
Think I need a coarser grit than the 600, or I'm just doing it wrong?
I think you need something a little bit more.
Yeah, because this wears down. Yeah, this wears down a lot because I took it from there's a 180. I think that's what we got on this one was a 180, wasn't it?
I think it's 220 and 180.
That's a 180. Let's go for broke. Then we can go back to a finer one.
Okay.
After we do the rod line. Okay, lefty. Can you smell it? You smell that? I don't think everybody can smell it, but it's almost like a metallic smell. Almost got the burr. One more time. Try to match that angle. And I'm looking for the shadow because we know we got the right angle at the back of the blade here. And then we want to follow that angle around with maybe an ever so slight of a twist to the right as I'm pulling it around. Don't overdo it. Oh, yeah. Now I got big old burr. Yeah. Okay, we're going to work on the rod lines now. Actually, we're going to turn this around. So you could, that's one of the advantages of using a brace to come in here, so you can turn this around for your lefty shears, because you want this flat side here against the handle. And we probably should have been in anticipation of this, maybe had this in a cup of water so it would have been getting good and wet. But I'm at the same angle all the way up to the hilt, just as if I was doing it on a flat water stone. In fact, this part you could do on a flat water stone if you wanted to. But I'm coming in here. Now you'll see Ramon doing a really good back and forward, and you can do it that way. I have some videos by him. We might need to take a left-handed curve to the Cancun Sharpener's Jam, because Ramon's going to be doing some of this work. Have it. Yeah, it's small, but it's there. Okay. We're going to say that one's done. We're going to call that done. Whether it is or not, take a look at it and see what you think. There's a little bit of rod line there. It's not big, is it? It's there. Yeah. So that should be enough, hopefully, for the two blades not to cut into each other and for it to feel smooth. So this is the easy part right here. Yeah. It's when you get here to here. So I'm going to flip this over to the rounded part. This is called my arc hone, and this is the arc hone holder. Our arc hones are 6 inches, and the arc hone holder is 6 inches, but they also come in a 7-inch length for people that have different stones. Because there's some stones that are harder. I kind of like this soft, but where's a Negura stone? Is there around here? I need to. Here's this green stone I was telling you about, Ricky, that you can go to the sink and kind of go over. Maybe I can work it with this. That's just a broken arc hone. So later today, you may want to soak this first. Maybe soak both of these. And you can kind of go over and get this cleaned up for me a little bit. Cleaned up for me and cleaned up for you. You probably do as many curved shears now as I do here at the office. Ricky likes to sharpen. And he's pretty good at it, too. Yeah, this really needs to be worked on. It's feeling rough. This is a lesson why you... Now see this Negura stone?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good because it's... Make
Does
this
it
a little
rub
bit
stuff
smoother.
onto it?
Yeah, the stuff comes off the Negura stone, goes onto that, and kind of goes into those... the scratches.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jim Turner that we went to see last weekend,
Yeah.
supposedly he's invented some new things for doing inside of a curved shear. He's come up with some things over the years that's been quite interesting and creative. I think that's going to do it. What you think? And I think go to the finer grit. What do you think? Do you think you can do it? Follow that angle? Or you want me to?
Can you do it?
Huh?
Can you?
Yeah, I can do it.
Alright. I don't want to mess anything up. What do you think the...
Well, I'm going to use this one here. It was a worn 600. I think that's going to be. And I have to stop and think which blade is which. You know, I can see where it can be. Some people just have a real hard time flipping things over in their head. My husband, Gene, does. He has a problem with knowing left from right. And, you know, you tell him to turn right and he turns left, that kind of thing. And so I can see where somebody has it's not that they're stupid, it's just that their mind works differently.
Yeah.
There could be a real problem with doing this. So it's okay if somebody is a sharpener and they just want to send us the lefty and shears. So I was doing that so I could kind of get an idea where I want my angle to be. Now I've pulled up a burr again, which is okay. And I think we'll just cut that burr off. I don't feel it at the tip. I'm going to do it one more time. And the reason I don't do it in the clamp all the way is if I did, it would change the angle going to the tip, and then you would have these, what they call banana tips. And where the tip kind of, the angle sort of changes, and then it's a hard time fixing them in the future. So this one, you can see the angle is pretty consistent all the way down by doing it.
Yeah.
Okay. Call that it. On this one, this is a worn 180, but I think you got something a little bit. Oh, that feels good. That's probably a worn 800. And on these curve adapters, because this is just the Velcro, you can cut whatever grit you want. If you want to polish, you can cut even a felt pad. And that's this one. I'm not going to use the clamp on this one. I think I can get the right angle. Up! Yeah, I'm going the correct direction. Thought I was going the wrong way. If you go the wrong way, it's a possibility that scissor could go slinging out of your hand and go in and hit something or hit you or... Alright, so I'm going to call that it. Let's put them together. Do we need to polish this outside where you accidentally thought they were a right-handed shear? Oh, I wasn't going to mention that, was I?
Sorry.
Somebody accidentally thought it was a right-handed shear and took off. Let's see if we can polish that out a little bit. I'm just laying it on the surface. It might not be too bad to go a little bit to the edge just to make it look a little smoother.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that polished out pretty nice. Look at there. There's still some little, but nobody's going to notice that.
No.
And especially since it's on the back. Alright, let's put it together and cut the burr off and hope we don't have to do anything else to it. And put it together without the blades touching it, as you know.
Yeah.
And you're using side pressure, so you're not testing, so you're cutting.
This feels so weird.
I know. Now go over it with a nail buffer. Smooth it out a little bit. And then we're going to test it on tissue and then on some fur. You know, check your adjustment. So I can tell you're a guy doing this. Women know how to use emery boards and these things, and we hold them like this. It's not anything wrong with the way you're doing it, but that's the natural way a woman would hold it. Because they're working their fingernails. Looks like you're knocking some burr off there, aren't you?
Yeah.
So you may want to wipe it off on that cloth again. I guess the song I had for the nipples up or the noses up wasn't that good if I can't remember the tune. Ooh, that looks like it's going to cut, huh? Let me test it. I have a little bit more. Do a little looser. Groomers tend to like their shears loose. Okay. Back area is not cutting real good. But all the way down, and nobody uses that back area. Spray it with some water and let's see how it cuts, and then we're gonna... Oh, that's empty. That's another job for you to do today. Fill all our water bottles.
Yeah.
Woo! Okay, we're gonna test it on fur. No pull. I'm going to flip it over. Okay, I'm going to say those are done. So, that's one of the hardest shears you'll ever sharpen. Only thing I know that would be harder would be as if it was a left-handed, curved texturizer that had been sharpened at the wrong angle. That might be harder. But this is pretty close to it. I think groomer shears in general are harder to do, but groomers tend to be easier to please. So they kind of balance out, I guess. So we got those done, and if anybody's interested in training, check with us. One of Ricky's jobs sometimes is to sit here and watch you while you practice, so you can stay extra days. And make sure you subscribed and comment.
Like, comment.
Okay, thank you.